reading, friends. Today I'm going to read the story Koko the Kite. Koko is a kite who wants nothing more than a lovely adventure. One day he gets his chance and flies off on an adventure. Let's follow him. Koko the Kite. Koko the Kite was just so good looking. All the other kites wished that they were as pretty as him. He had a long, lovely tail and was made of bright, strong, colorful paper. So what color is he? He's red, green, yellow and blue. Jackie, the boy who owned Koko, loved him dearly. He took great care of Koko and made sure that nothing would spoil him. He would pack him up carefully every evening so that he would not get torn by anything. On windy days, Jackie would take Koko and fly him high up in the sky. Koko would soar above all the kites, feeling very proud of himself. One day, Koko was flying proudly in the sky. "I'm flying so high, I'm sure no one can catch up with me," thought Koko. Just then, a bird flew past him. The bird just looked at Koko and shook its head in pity. "I feel sorry for you," said the bird. Koko was confused. No one ever pitied him. Most of all, everyone envied him. This was strange. After all, wasn't he the strongest and the most beautiful of them all? Couldn't he fly higher than all the other kites? "What do you mean by that?" Koko asked the bird. "I'm the best kite in the neighborhood. I can cut the strings of all the other kites around me. And you say you are sorry for me?" Koko was upset. You can see 3 birds near him. "Yes," said the bird, "that's because you can't be free. I fly wherever I want. You are tied to a string. You can fly only when someone decides to fly you." The bird flew away. Koko wanted to be free too. "That bird is right," he said to himself. "I can fly only if Jackie holds my strings. Oh, how I would love to fly away on my own." And suddenly Koko got an idea. That day when Koko was flying among the other kites, he flew right into the middle of a kite fight. Strings were at war and twang, his string was cut off. Koko flew up in the air and away from Jackie. I'm free," Koko sang to himself as he soared in the skies. Higher and higher he went. There were no strings to hold him back this time. He flew over rivers and hills. He saw cows grazing below. He flew so high that he touched the clouds. Suddenly the wind dropped. Whoosh! Koko found himself falling. Down, down, down he went and plop. He landed on the ground. "Ouch," said Koko. He had never fallen down before. Koko looked around in fear. This had never happened to him before. Jackie was always around to look after him when the wind stopped. In fact, Jackie always made sure that Koko landed gently and softly without ever getting scratched or torn. Just then a huge wet nose sniffed Koko. It was a cow. She was wondering if she could eat Koko. He was terrified. But the cow changed her mind and went away. A kite didn't smell as nice as the fresh green grass on the other side of the fence. Koko had hardly heaved a sigh of relief when he felt himself being turned over. He felt 2 sharp things poking him and strange whiskers tickling him. "Mew, mew," said 2 little kittens as they pawed Koko's tail. They thought he was something to play with. They pulled Koko's lovely tail and frisked happily around him. Now kittens, as you know, love to play. These kittens loved Koko and his lovely long tail. Koko curled up in fright. He was sure that the kittens were going to tear him up into shreds. He had heard that kittens had sharp claws and he had even felt them. Kitty, kitty, someone called. Luckily for Koko, the little kittens ran away, leaving him safe on the ground. The kite was a lovely thing to play with, thought the kittens, but it's not half as nice as the bowl of milk we'll get at home. Koko was miserable. I wish I hadn't gotten in the middle of that kite flight, he thought sadly. He thought about how much Jackie loved him and felt very sorry indeed. He thought of how safe he was with Jackie. He really missed him. At that moment, Koko heard a sound. Thud, 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 thud. Put, put, put. What a scary sound that was. Poor Koko was terrified. Oh no, Koko knew that sound. It was the lawnmower that Jackie's father often used. It tore and ate up everything that came in its way. It ate up grass, leaves, bits of paper, and just about anything. Koko was truly scared. He was sure that this time he was going to be torn and eaten up by the lawnmower. This was even worse than being torn by the cow or the kittens. Just then he felt himself being raised off the ground. Two strong talons got hold of this colorful paper. What was that? Thought Koko. Thoroughly frightened, he loved being up in the sky, but not if he was being held so tight by such a nasty looking bird. Oh, let's see who's got Koko. It was an eagle who had decided that Koko was just what he needed to make his nest nice and colorful. Koko was miserable. Imagine him spending the rest of his life in a little nest with baby eagles all around him. By now he was feeling very sorry that he had cut himself off. At that moment there was a loud sound. The eagle was startled. It was a clap of thunder that was followed by flashes of lightning across the sky. The eagle forgot all about Koko and dropped him. Koko fell down. He wondered where he was going to land. He hoped that no cow, kitten or eagle would get him this time. Suddenly he landed with a plop in someone's garden. Koko lay there helplessly, wondering what would happen to him. He heard a cow mooing. He heard a kitten mewing. He heard footsteps running up to him. And then he heard a voice that he loved so much. Look, my kite has returned. It was his very own Jackie who came running and picked Koko lovingly. Koko couldn't believe his luck. He had flown far and wide. He'd almost been eaten up, mawed over and torn. He had adventures that he hadn't liked one little bit. But he was safe now because he was at home with Jackie. That night, as Jackie placed Koko safely upon the cupboard, Koko realized that he didn't want to be a bird. He was a beautiful kite and he was happiest flying safely at the end of a string. He never tried to fly away again. So you can see Koko smiling. He's happy. Thank you.